What's going on, everybody? Okay, so in this video, we're gonna talk about supply and demand. And let me just write it right here. And this is gonna be drawn basically how to draw supply and demand zones and how it could benefit you when identifying reversal points inside the market. Supply and demand. And as you can see, the market pushed up a bit more from the last video that I showed you guys. It was trying to push up to the next resistance point, which was right here. Okay, so what is supply and demand? Okay, pretty much it's similar to support and resistance, but you could kind of consider it like a level 2 compared to support and resistance. But right here, I pretty much explain how different it is and how it could help you. Okay, so support and resistance is where we see a lot of failed attempts for price to move beyond. A very classic idea that a lot of people recognize. Supply and demand is a much deeper idea though. We're not looking for a line where price had trouble moving through. We're looking for an area of strong price movement away from a zone of price action. My favorite of these areas, for example, are where we saw a very strong rally, a little bit of sideways movement as buyers and sellers came to a temporary equilibrium, and then a massive drop once all the buyers were filled and the sellers were left. The result, a zone where we have a good idea there aren't going to be much buyers, probably quite a few sellers remaining. Simple support and resistance cannot offer you this kind of insight, okay? And it's very, very helpful when it comes to you breaking down your chart and seeing what the market is trying to do, okay? So pretty much to draw your supply and demand zones, pretty much supply is basically on the other side of resistance. Demand zone is towards the bottom area. So we can draw it right here. Supply, let's say resistance, demand, support. Okay. And these are zones. These are not just like lines like this right here. This right here is one line. This right here is one price. This is a resistance point and everything. So if I wanted to draw a supply zone, pretty much what I do, I look for all breakouts as far as when the market breaks out in the other direction. And to draw these zones, pretty much what I do is I find out a breakout. So this right here was a breakout to the downside. So how I draw them is draw them from the previous candle's wick down to the breakout candle's body. The breakout candle body is basically the direction that it's moving in. So since it's a downtrend after this, you're looking for a bearish breakout candle body. So I draw it from the top of this previous wick down to the breakout candle's body, which is this red body right here, and then you just drag it across. And as you can see, price was inflicted upon it just based off this zone. Okay, as you can see, it was rejected once it came inside the zone right here. Okay, and that's one way how to draw them. And let me draw a few more for you guys. And always draw these on either the 4-hour chart or the 1-hour chart. So previous wick to breakout candle's body once again. And the market always, more than likely, always rejects the first time it hits one of these zones, you know? So like as you can see, it came right here, it came up, it got rejected. And I can show you guys these 1,000 times on this inside the market. So previous wick, breakout candle's body. Okay, came up, it got rejected again. And in this area right here, there's a lot of supply and demand zones just based off of like all the rallies and everything that was happening inside this area. So if I did it to the downside now, I'm going to hour chart. So there's a little demand zone. As you can see, it was rejected right here. And circle around this. So once again, you see a rejection right here also. And you can do this all day. And just by doing this ahead of time, you could see where the price will struggle once it gets to a certain area in price. So it was the first touch. So it came through, it came back down, touched, and then broke through after. But it was first rejected. Once again, previous wick, breakout candle's body. Came over. As you can see the touch. One. And the more times it touch, the weaker it gets. So like the first touch is always the most important because more than likely it's going to get rejected the first time it tries to touch it. This whole area, pretty much. Okay, so that was the first touch. It got rejected. Second touch, you got rejected again. These are all based off previous points and everything that the market struggled to pass and everything. Had a lot of indecision. So you can mark these up and everything all day, and you can have a lot of successful trades and successful entries and everything just by knowing these points at a market that it struggled to pass. Okay, so if you combine these with your support and resistance, and then it's going to get very, very intense. But that's going to be on our confluence trading video. That's going to be probably next. So let's see what happens.